Hello and welcome to Bio 181 for summer of 2020. My name is Melinda McKinney and I'll be your instructor for the course. So I'd like to welcome you. This is an 8-week course. It's asynchronous, which means that this is probably the only video that I'll be doing, but I am here for you. You can contact me with email and we can set up Zoom meetings. So the purpose of this video is just an introduction and overview of how to access the components in the course. And I'm just going to point out some key components of the syllabus. So I'm going to share my screen and jump into Canvas. All right. So all of the materials for the semester are in Canvas other than your textbook and your lab kit. And so this is our home screen that you'll see. I sent one announcement so far, the welcome to Bio 181. The announcements are going to show up at the top of the page, and you'll also get notified, usually if you have it set to go to your email. You can have it pushed to your phone too. So it's an 8-week course. It is accelerated. This is a lot of content in this course. And so even during a normal semester, it's kind of a big lift. So in the summer, I just want to encourage you right off the bat to dedicate a significant portion of time. So get out your planner or your phone or your calendar and really make a schedule for yourself so that you're allotting the necessary time. So about 20 hours a week for a lot of students to be successful. If we were to meet in class, we'd meet 5 hours a week, plus you have homework. And each week during the summer equates to 2 weeks during the normal semester. So that's the announcement. And I'm going to go back to the home page. What you'll do to get started, start here, and you'll just walk through. Here's an introduction, a little bit of information about myself. I've been teaching at CCC since about 2011, and I generally teach, I've taught Bio 181 many, many times, teach it in person. Right now I'm teaching during the normal semester, usually focusing on multicellular biology, Bio 182, and concepts biology and environmental biology. So this course is focusing on the cell. So we're going to start at the atomic level and we're going to move up. So the syllabus, I'm going to click right here to pull up our syllabus. And so I told you who I was, what the course is. I'm not on campus this summer, but I do have an office there. If for some reason you need to meet, I am in Flagstaff and we can meet there in person, but I do prefer meeting via Zoom. Email would be preferred method of contact through Canvas. And the course that we're going to cover will, like I said, start at the atomic level and move up. We'll end looking at all the components of the cell, how they function, how things get in and out of the cell, and talking about DNA replication and genetics, and then ending with biotechnology. So the textbook, good news is that the textbook is, there's an option to have it free online or at a very low cost printed through the bookstore. So I'm just going to click on this link. So this takes us to Biology 2E, which is an open source textbook. And you can get to the table of contents and go through all of the material online for free. Another thing you can do is if you're working remotely and you don't have access to the internet, you can download the PDF and it will download this big old file and you can have that so that you don't have to worry about internet stability. However, for this course, it's very important that you are able to get to the internet and that you do have a laptop computer or a desktop computer. So this is our course. We're going to go through chapters 1 through 17 this semester. You can also get it at the bookstore. It's spiral bound, and that's only the first 17 chapters. And it looks like it's about $33 when I checked. So that's a good option if you like to highlight things or take notes. I myself like to have a physical copy, so I find that useful. The lab kit. So this is really important. So the lab kit for this course is required, and we're going to do, I think, six or seven labs out of it. So you need to get this lab kit this week. I want to say that again. You need to purchase the lab kit within the first week of the semester, right? during the normal semester, you could have 2 weeks, but we're accelerated in the summer, and we're going to use the lab kit for next week's lab. So you can purchase it by going in and picking it up at the bookstore. If you're out of town, you can have it shipped to you for a flat rate of about $7. So that's a good deal. If you are out of town, please make this purchase early so you don't get docked points for missing that first lab that requires the lab kit. So you do need reliable internet, and you have to have a desktop computer. And the reason I say that is that sometimes in the quizzes, if they're images, they don't display properly on a smartphone. So had students try to take the course on a smartphone before, and they run into problems every time. So please make sure you have access to a computer. If you're near one of the CCC campuses in Flagstaff or in Page, you can go there. During the summer, our hours are Monday through Thursday only. So it's a 4-day work week for CCC in the summer. So if you go during that time, then you can access the computers there. You will need access to them because to access the content and the quizzes, the remote proctoring software that is ensuring that you're not, having a partner there helping you, opening other windows on your browser, that you don't have audio, requires, or other person's talking to you, requires a working microphone and a working webcam. So that is essential. So you can't get around that. If you do need to borrow one, if you don't have one, usually the CCC help desk does have some that are able to get checked out, so you can check into that. Okay, so the key is to not get behind. We have a lot to cover. This week we've got 2 chapters. Next week we have 3 chapters that we're covering. There are quizzes every week. There are discussions. And for the discussion, I can't emphasize this enough. There's going to be an initial post that's going to be due Wednesday, and then there's a reply, multiple replies that are going to be due on Saturday. So you need to be accessing your course multiple times throughout the week. Okay, let me go down. So I talked about Proctorio, which requires the functioning webcam. And okay, late policy. So if you miss the deadline for the assignment, you do have the ability to turn in that assignment up to 7 days later, and you'll be docked 25% of the overall points. After those 7 days, if you turn it in, you will get 0 points. So please don't rely on this. I have students that continually submit work late. Late is better than never, but it really does drop your grade. So make sure to get it in on time, and pay attention to the due dates, and note that on Wednesdays, you're always going to have a discussion due, including this Wednesday. The syllabus, so read through the syllabus more thoroughly than I'm going through now, and then the introductory materials and the start here part of Canvas, and then you'll take a syllabus agreement quiz, which if you complete that, you have to complete it successfully. You can take it as many times as you want. It does require Proctorio, and the reason I'm requiring Proctorio is it allows you to test your computer and make sure that it's going to work, so you don't have technical difficulties on a quiz. So you can get in there right away, make sure that you've installed your browser, you've installed the plugin for Proctorio, and that your browser's up to date. One thing, if I don't say it now, I might forget, with Proctorio, if it gives you an error message that says access code required, I never ask you to insert access code. So the access code is just Proctorio's default error. It's kind of confusing, and it usually means you need to update your browser, or you need to give, if you have a Mac, you have to give permissions in your system's preferences to allow this program to be able to access your webcam and your microphone. Okay. Correspondence. So I will be answering emails within 24 hours, Monday through Thursday. I do follow that 4-day work week, so I'm not guaranteeing access on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday within 24 hours. If I'm in town and I'm with my computer, usually you'll get a response, but I do sometimes go backpacking or other things. And so I want to have that noted, that I may not get back to you if you contact me Friday, Saturday, Sunday within 24 hours. Okay. Oh, and the grading, I'll get the grading done within a week of the time that it's submitted. So evaluation in this course, what do you have to do? You've got a syllabus agreement quiz, you've got a plagiarism quiz, you've got discussions, 7 discussions, so 1 a week, except for the last week, which you'll be concentrating on your final exam. You have chapter quizzes, so there are 15 chapter quizzes, and there are 8 lab reports. There's 1 final exam, it's cumulative, and a note that is worth pointing out here is that the lowest score is dropped for anything with this asterisk down here, which is a discussion, chapter quiz, or lab report. So if you have some crazy technical difficulty and you couldn't get to it early, which please always do it early so you can avoid that, you do have 1 get out of jail free card, right? So you have 1 dropped. So there you go. Okay. Okay, so semester calendar. So let's look, I'm gonna get out of the syllabus here, go back, close. Okay, and make this a little smaller. So let me just go through the start here. It's gonna, at the bottom of the screen, see these tabs on the left and the right, previous and next. So those are gonna show up on your computer, not necessarily on your phone. It allows you to go sequentially through the material, so the modules, and I really encourage you to use that as an option. So right now I'm on course navigation and organization. You can also access these pages if you go over here to the side to modules. And this is actually how I like to look at them. And here's the first Welcome to BIO 181 module. It had the start here, and then it had course navigation and organization, which was that page we were just on. And then the next module, so every week there's going to be 2 modules, week 1A and week 1B. So please make sure that you're not just finishing 1A and thinking, oh, I'm done. So it's 2 modules per week, week 1A and week 1B. Usually it corresponds to 1 chapter. Occasionally it'll correspond to 2 chapters. So if I go back to course navigation and organization, that's basically what it says here, 2 modules per week. Make sure that you get your discussion in on Wednesday and your final discussion post in on Saturday. Okay. Oh, and one more thing before we get into the modules. So over here on the left, I'm going to home. Underneath home, it's syllabus. So I click on the syllabus, and here is an access file for the document that is the syllabus. And if you scroll down, you can see that I copied and pasted the syllabus in here. Another thing to note is if you scroll all the way down, you'll see what is coming up. So these are all of the assignments that are going to be due in the course. I do have them all in here. They're not all published so that you can access them yet, but they are all in here. So I have all of the assignments that you'll have for the course are listed down below, along with their due dates. So if I go back up to the top, this is something you might also find helpful, I really do, is the course schedule. It's a link to a Google Doc, and here it has just an overview, a nice way to look at this table where you can see what's due. So this is week 1. We're in BIO 181. On Wednesday of this week, the syllabus quiz is due, the plagiarism quiz is due, and the discussion 1 initial post is due. That discussion 1 initial post is not going to show up in your to-do list in Canvas, because a discussion, the way that it works in Canvas is you can only have 1 due date for it. So I'm requiring initial post and replies. So the only thing you're going to see in Canvas is the final due date. So make sure you get that, write it down, make a note somewhere so you get that initial post done by Wednesday. So 3 things on Wednesday of this week. And then Saturday of this week, you have your discussion final post. The discussion this week is your introduction, just introducing yourself to your classmates. And then on Sunday, you have quiz 1, which is on chapter 1, quiz 2, which is on chapter 2, and lab 1, which is on the scientific method. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 assignments this week, if you count 2 for the discussion. Now, this first week, I put everything on Sunday because, sometimes we have people coming in late and maybe they come in a couple days late. I just want to make sure that everything is able to be completed this first week, and maybe you have to figure it out with your work schedule. But by next week, we have staggered due dates. So if you look at week 2, again, I'll blow this up a little bit. So week 2, we're going to cover 3 chapters, chapter 3, 4, and 5. This is going to be the standard for the next several weeks. So you have a chapter quiz on Tuesday and Friday. You have your discussion post on Wednesday and Saturday, and you have your lab due on Saturday. Okay. Sometimes you'll have an extra quiz, like next week on Friday, you actually have 2 quizzes, chapter 4 and chapter 5 quiz. The following week, you actually have 2 labs due, lab 3 and lab 4. So sometimes you've got a little bit extra in there. So please just make sure again that you're on top of that. Okay, and you're welcome to go to this link and then download that, print it out, and have it as a reference. Okay, so you can always access your grades over here. I'm going to go back down to modules. I'm going sequence. Okay, so here is a typical module. It's our first week, so we got the syllabus and plagiarism quiz are different, but you have an introductory page, which gives you basically an overview for that module. And then you'll have your discussion. This week, you have to take your syllabus quiz and your plagiarism quiz. Again, those will require you to have a working webcam and a microphone and be at a desktop computer. You have discussion 1 where you introduce yourself. So I'm going to click on this first one. And again, just go sequentially through. So you scroll down, this is the first week. I've got this little table here that tells you, so syllabus quiz, Wednesday, plagiarism quiz, Wednesday, discussion initial post, Wednesday, final post, Saturday, chapter 1 quiz, Sunday, chapter 2 quiz, Sunday, lab 1, Sunday. Okay, go down, next. Here's your syllabus quiz. So read through the syllabus. You can take this. This is, again, unusual compared to the chapter quizzes, which you can just take once, the chapter quizzes. But the syllabus quiz, you can take as many times as you want to get that 10 out of 10. Okay, then you've got a plagiarism quiz. And again, you can take that as many times as you want. It's important that you're submitting your own work in this class. So you want to make sure that for your discussions that the discussions will often involve, they're mostly centered on research. So you're going to be researching peer-reviewed journal articles, and then you're going to be summarizing them. And so you are not allowed to just copy and paste verbatim text from the article into your discussion. And you're not able to just change a few words here or there, right? You need to really put it into your own words. So paraphrasing. So this talks about that. And also for your labs, make sure that you're doing your lab work yourself and that your replies are your own. If plagiarism is detected, you may be dropped from the course. You'll receive a 0 for the course or an F, and you'll be reported to student services. So please don't plagiarize. Okay, the first discussion is introduce yourself. So discussion is it's a type of assignment in Canvas, and it allows you to post and your peers can see it. So this first week, your assignment is your initial post. You complete the following requirements, put them in there. And then after Wednesday, when everyone's posted, or you don't have to wait till Wednesday. If people post early and then you want to reply early just to knock that out and get it done, that's fine. But you just need 3 people to post so you can reply to 3 people, and then you can get that done. Here's my post. This just talks a little bit about my background, and I just did it as an example. Please insert some pictures with a little bit of a description of them. These are my doggies, Cricket and Pepper, and my cats. This is Maud and this is Harold. And just a little bit about myself. I like to go backpacking, and I'm also the coordinator for the Bridges to Baccalaureate program. It's a program for Native American students interested in biomedical science. It's not for nursing majors, but if anyone in here is Native American and interested in a career in biomedical science, it's a great opportunity. It's got basically get a full tuition waiver and about $13,000 for your stipend. And we do research. You have to be a sophomore at CCC and then transfer to NAU and complete the program there. Okay, so post a question and then reply to your peers. Then you have an overview of what's going to be covered for this module 1A, which is chapter 1. There's a link to study guide questions. So these are questions that can guide your study. They're not exhaustive, but if you do this, you will be really well set up for a quiz. So it has some vocabulary on here. Make sure that you're able to, that you know and have memorized those vocabulary terms, that you can answer the questions. Some of these are fairly, like, even though it's just one item, describe the 7 major steps of the scientific method, or describe the characteristics or properties of life, and be able to provide an example of each. So the quizzes are going to be multiple choice and short answer. So likely you'll see a question which asks you to give me, several of the characteristics of life. I'll give you a number and then you tell me what they are. They have to be the ones from the book, not just ones you invented on your own, and provide an example. Okay, so there's chapter 1 and chapter 2. All right, so that, and then there's also videos. So these videos are, I'm not going to be giving you lectures. That doesn't really work too well. People don't usually watch them. It's kind of boring. But there are some great videos out there, like this one on the characteristics of life by the Amoeba sisters, that you should watch if they're in here, and that'll help you with the content. Okay. Your quiz, chapter 1 quiz here. Again, it's remotely proctored. You have one trial. It's 90 minutes, so should be plenty of time. I don't want you to be time stressed. So you've got plenty of time to complete that. And oops, those are the answers right there. So how am I going to get out of this without showing you all those answers? Okay, so go back to modules on the side. Go back to, I should go to student view. Actually, let me real quick jump to settings. I think I can get into student view here. Yeah. I haven't done it in a while. Shoot. Okay. Guess I don't remember how to do that. Student view. Okay. Well, it's pretty similar. So I won't belabor that anymore. Okay. So let me go back to modules. Okay. We're getting through this one. So we talked about the discussion. We talked about chapter 1 readings and videos, talked about the quiz, and then here's the lab. So the lab, your first lab, this is just a simple lab. It's a way to walk through the scientific method. You do need to take a picture of yourself with the labs to make sure that you're doing it and not just copying someone else's. So a picture, a selfie with the lab, or you can have your ID right next to your lab in progress. Don't just take a picture of your contents of your kit in the future. You have to actually have the lab almost completed, when you take the picture. Okay. And again, the first lab, you don't need your kit, but the second lab you do. Okay. All right, and then there's the conclusion, just a summary of what you learned in that module. Then you go to your second module for week 1. So we're still in week 1, but now we're into chapter 2. So again, talks about chapter 2, what's due, and has the readings and videos for chapter 2. Chapter 2 quiz. Whoa, let's not do that again. And then I do want to get to the lab for next week because it's a little bit different. So let's go to modules. Okay, so I'm going to go to chapter 2. Oh, actually, let me just erase that last part. That's going to be the next lab is in the next week. So this week just has chapter 2 readings, content quiz, and chapter 2. So that's the overview. Next week, The difference will be in the schedule in terms of when things are due. So again, you've got due dates on Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday in a normal week. And for week 2, we've got here. Okay, so for week 2, I'm going to go down here to the eScience component. So our lab kits are from eScience, a company called eScience, and the kit is this box right here. And when you get it, it is critical that you go through it, and there's a QR code. Just make sure that you have all of the supplies that you need in there. If you don't have the supplies, you're missing anything, you just let me know and I will give you that information to get more. So they'll send you something. They usually second day air it. You'll get it at your house very quickly. So make sure you go through the kit when you get it, do the QR code, make sure everything's in there that you need, and then you're set. And if not, you can reach out to me and I can give you the information for how to get replacements. Okay, that's it. Okay, let's see. Is there anything else I need to tell you? Maybe not. We might be done. That's it. The final exams, comprehensive. There's no midterm, so it's just the weekly quizzes as we go. And then we have a comprehensive final, and it'll be over before you know it. So just dive in. Again, make sure that you're willing to commit the hours that are needed to make you successful in this course, and don't hesitate to reach out to me for anything that you may need. Okay. All right. I look forward to seeing your discussion posts and getting to know you.